Hi, so today I'm going to be working on a series of prints, a series of dry points that I've already printed in the print studio. But I just feel they need a little bit extra, a bit of movement, a bit of energy. So I'm going to be adding some monoprint, some hand printing onto them by drawing into the back of the print. And also just using a roller to roll ink onto the pieces themselves as well. A little bit of a risk because I actually really like the pieces already, so I don't want to ruin them, but I'm going to be having a go at that. So I'm going to do a little bit of work on this series of prints, Maiden Castle, which is an Iron Age fort in Dorset. This is the Iron Age fort bit here. It's a view looking out. I'd like to get some darks into here, and I'd also like to get a little bit of line work in the sky. So I'm going to be monoprinting by drawing onto the back of a couple of these prints, probably these two here, I think. And then I'd also like to get some dark into this one. Now this is my favourite of the series, which is why I'm a little bit scared to work on it, because I don't want to ruin it, but I do think it needs some darkness in it, so I'm going to be trying to put some kind of purple in here. That will kind of hopefully sing with the yellows and the ochres in the side here, and should, I hope, bring everything out. I'm going to leave that until last, until I've got my confidence up a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is roll out some darkish grey, quite dark, not really dark, and I've just got to remember to put it sort of so that I can, it's got to be the other side to the place that I want it on the print. And I've just got to give myself enough space to do that. And that's because when you print, obviously everything comes out back to front. So I'm not going to roll much out. I don't want that much. And I want it fairly thin because I'm going to be drawing into the back, also pushing into the back of my print. So I want a patch of ink roughly this height, and not too wide across, so that when I place my paper on, I can get some nice line marks all the way up from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to have a go at that now. It's quite thin ink, or it's actually oil paint that I use. Okay, so I'm going to get my implement. So I want some line work kind of here. So I'm going to place that area down. So I'm just using, this is a bookbinding tool actually, but you could use a pen or pencil or a knife or something like that. Let's just see what that's done. Oh, okay. So that's actually gone over the little sun that I had in there. But that's fine, I can re-put that in. I quite like those line marks. They really give it some energy and movement. And I didn't really think too much about that. I just went for it. Okay, that's good. So I'm just going to show, hopefully, that you can also do a ghost print from what's left on there. If I can find some tissue paper. Let's try this paper here. So you want thin paper for ghost prints, tissue or something quite light. I'm just going to place it on. Now this might not come out, we shall see. I'm going to use my Baron here to press down on it. Okay. So where I had drawn on to the back of my print, I'm not sure if you can see that, is white lines essentially when you take the ghost print. So that's going to be quite nice for collage, I should think, and collaging into other prints. So I'm going to keep that. And just roll a little bit of extra ink out for the next one I'm going to have a go at. So nice and thin again. I don't want it too thick. I don't want globby lines really. I'm going to try and do the same here. Oh, okay. Now again, that's taken out a piece that I actually quite like, which is this little white bit here. But it's also added in something really interesting as well. So obviously I'm going to keep that, I think. And maybe add in a little bit of white in some other way to get that contrast. I'm going to do a little bit more, I think, just a little bit more. See how that works. Yeah, nice. I really like that softness down here. It's come out really nicely. Okay. So I'm just going to clean this colour up and I'm going to roll out my purpley grey. So I am now going to roll out some of this more slightly purpley ink. Now what I'm actually going to do, I'm not going to roll it out in order to print straight from. I'm going to roll it out so that I get a nice roller full of ink. Just check my roller's oil free. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so it's already got a nice even coat of colour on it. Now I think I'm going to do quite a large block of dark on this side of the print here, and I'm just going to roll it straight on and see how that goes. So here goes. That's creating a nice softness. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. I think there's some hardness in the paper that's causing the ink to catch on those. So I'm not totally pleased with those. I'm quite liking this. I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to try and just put a bit more ink over that area to try and cover those sticky outy bits. I'm going to get ink all the way up to the edge of my roller, so I might end up with quite a sharpish line. Let's see. And then I'm going to try and soften that line a little bit. Now I don't really like this sort of half and half feel. I'd like to have one bigger than the other, so I'm going to try and make this a little bit bigger up to there. Okay. So there we go. I think I need to have a look at that, let it dry and see how I feel about it. But I think it's actually made it a lot more interesting as a piece. So I think we're nearly there.